I've had a really wonderful time with Sparkworks. I'm really sad it's coming to an end, even though it's not. And I'm so grateful for everything that you guys have provided. And I feel a lot more confident in terms of where I started and where I am now. In terms of my progression, I think I'm still on the same path in that I know I want to go down a kind of writing avenue, but it's been such a massive thing for me becoming less intimidated by film and being on set, and understanding what people mean when they talk about kind of certain pieces of equipment or technology or slang or whatever. So in the short term, I want to carry on with my runner work and location marshalling alongside. I now have a full-time writing job, so kind of on weekends and stuff, I'm taking on runner jobs, which is great. And in the long term, yeah, I'm wanting to carry on developing my writing for stage and screen. And yeah, but generally it's been great. I found a really supportive community. I found having a mentor so fantastic. And I'm really excited about the fact that it seems to be kind of an ongoing, an ongoing symbiotic relationship with Sparkworks, and that we can kind of all carry on kind of keeping open that line of dialogue and going into the workshop and picking each other up for different projects and stuff. So yeah, it's been great. And I think some of the best thing about the course is the people that I've met as a result. So, you know, on top of everything else, the speakers, the people. So yeah, I'm really grateful. I think because I've gone first, other people will say things that are much more loquacious or whatever. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents for now.
Well, yeah, I think I still can't really believe how much I lucked out finding this course. Yeah, seeing it on a ad, I can't even remember where I found the ad. But yeah, it's just been really great, especially for me, gaining sort of new skills and sort of a whole new understanding of the industry overall. I feel all the mentoring, software sessions and guest speakers has just been great to add to my skill set and sort of knowledge and prospects, and definitely feel more confident that I'll be able to get my foot in the door. And then I think building on that, for work prospects, I think I definitely feel positive, definitely with all the resources online and the groups and the networks and contacts I've made. And I think, that feeds into my short-term goals of gaining experience on set, through in various productions, hopefully. And then on the side, pursuing personal projects. And then long-term, I think I've definitely got more of a sense that I want to get into working in factual / documentaries. That's all of it really. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and great to meet you all. So it's been really good, and I'm looking forward to the group project as well.
So everything was amazing. I think progression, I did I'm way more confident now in talking to professionals. Before I would go to those Zoom meetings and I would just be quiet there with my camera off and don't say anything. I wouldn't make any questions, even if I had questions. So, I think all this, Zoom meetings every week, I think, made that to me. So I think that's great. But I think most of the thing was my writing, writing cover letters. I think that was, improved, I don't know, a lot. And talking to people and asking people, if that's okay, if that's not okay. And, I think I think that was, and I think that I made more progression, I'd say. In work prospects, I think I'm ticking quite a few boxes, but still not getting jobs in on set, which is what I want to do. but have to keep trying and get a driver license. I think that would help. But yeah, so my short and long terms are the same. I still want to work in camera or lighting department, and I think I need to start, being on set, and then maybe change afterwards. But for now, I still want to, have that set experience in working as a, marshal or a runner, something like that. But yeah, and I just want to thank you guys, from Sparkworks. It was been, brilliant. You guys been so amazing, supportive, like from the beginning. Start with Sylvia, and then start meeting you all, and then ended up having Sam as my mentor, which was like a fantastic experience. You gave me all the time you had, and even the time you didn't have. Like, sometimes Sunday evening, we wrote an application on Sunday evening. I couldn't get over, so thank you so much for it. And, Saif as well was brilliant. Like, he helped me a lot with the equipment. And I was a bit annoying with it, to be honest, because, it was crazy. A lot of times it was different equipment. But anyway, so just want to thank you guys for this amazing experience. It helped me so much in so many ways. It wasn't only in filmmaking really, but professionally, like generally, personally as well. So thank you.
Yeah, similar to the others, like I can't even imagine what I would have done these last few months if I wasn't on the course, and I feel like it's taught me like so much about the industry and like technicalities of like getting into it, and just about like logistical side of filmmaking, but also like creative elements as well. Like the talk with like Annetta Laufer, I think that's her name, was just amazing. I loved that. And also obviously all the mentoring sessions with David have also been like very creatively like driven. And yeah, I just feel like I've learned so much. Like I didn't really know, I like knew nothing before this. So and now I feel, especially in terms of like CVs and approaching people and like contacting, and just confidence in that has grown massively. And in terms of like I've even had work as like a location marshal through finding it on the Facebook groups that I would never have known about before. And that's been really great. And obviously little bits as sort of a runner working with David last week, it was nice to be on a smaller set so I could hear him talking to the camera crew about camera angles and all these sorts of things I didn't really know about before. But yeah, so like work prospects, like I'm just hoping to continue getting like location marshal work and like runner more. I'd like to try and get more runner work, I think, specifically, because I think that's kind of the maybe like I don't know, working in that sort of, working my way up that sort of avenue is something I'm kind of interested in for the future. But for the immediate future, I want to also like continue making short films. And I think recently I've felt like maybe directing is more my specific area of interest, but also still interested in writing a bit, and just wanting to try and continue making those. And then I guess like slightly longer term goals, I kind of want to try and apply for funding to make a short film. So I'm really going to try, I think, and do that in the like long-term future, I guess.
I think, firstly, one thing that I've really taken away from this is like you mentioned earlier, the kind of internet presence, like how you are publicly online, with just kind of developing my Vimeo, starting to develop a website, and then kind of establishing contacts through like speculative emails, developing your LinkedIn, just kind of having that communication with other people in the industry. And I think what I've really enjoyed about this is also the kind of opportunity to network in a time where we're all kind of socially distancing. I just didn't expect that, especially as a postgraduate. It's kind of like you come into the world and you don't quite know, you know where you want to get to, but you don't quite know how to do it. This course has really put me on a path with like weekly structured kind of timetables, and it's kept me very focused, tunnel vision on this goal of mine to become a sound designer. I think one thing that's been amazingly helpful has been Sue's mentoring weekly, every Wednesday. She's just kind of given me a set of like tasks to do over the next week to make sure that they get done, and they've been really helpful tasks, whether it's reaching out to different companies or developing my CV. And the software tutorials have been really insightful as well, because they're things I would never really have thought to look up for myself, and I'd come to need them one day and wouldn't really know how to do it, especially as someone who does really enjoy doing like small independent projects that might not be sound specific, because I do want to kind of get into the video editing side of things for myself, not necessarily for my career, but also just because I enjoy it. I guess short-term goals is just to continue with preparing my application for my MA in sound design, and then thereafter probably just continue doing like freelance work, because what's been really exciting is I've had people just off Mandy or different like online sites kind of reach out to me like, do you want to edit this? Do you want to, with regards to sound, which has been really exciting. And then long-term goals, I guess, just to kind of start working on bigger projects as a sound designer, and yeah, everything like that, let alone obviously just working on smaller ones and short films in the meantime too. So yeah.
Yeah, so for me, thanks really so much. That I felt like I always still feel like very lucky to found this course. It was also pretty much like the last minute for me that I just found by luck, like, always scrolling on Instagram and then seeing this, place. And yeah, I basically now, feel very positive and like definitely learned a lot in many aspects of filmmaking, about industry, being self-employed, and what we can actually do on ourselves, and how to contact people and all that. And at the beginning, when I first found this course, I was sort of with all this happening at the time, I sort of felt desperate, what I'm gonna do, how this is all gonna work and all that stuff. But then, yeah, I think after I start to, have this course, and with our meeting sessions and everything we learned throughout, it just gave me so much hope. And I felt much more progress for, how to approach people, what to do, and, how to sort of stand as like an individual in this industry, basically. It just taught a lot for that. It's still tough, it's still hard, but I have more hope, for what we can all do individually and how we can all support each other and connect. And for my immediate plans now, I'm still hoping to get some runner jobs and some entry-level jobs, which I only made, I've been mostly usually making my own, making my own, personal projects, and like just felt like after some point, if I'm not getting jobs, I perhaps should do something on my own and get my foot down. And in the long term, I'm, still getting to work in just bigger productions, and hopefully, one day get into maybe full-time as a production assistant in a production companies, somewhere that I, just like to work in film and TV as in that role. And yeah, I think that's mostly for my future plan, but I just been very grateful for everything I learned here, and it just helps a lot. So, positive about the future, hopefully.